No, I think that it would be in best interest for everybody to get feedback and studies done that impacts the new field. And you did not show me that there were any studies done to show that this field, actually the additional field, belongs here.
I'm not saying any of your concerns are not legitimate. You know, they're your concerns. You live in this neighborhood. I tried to explain at the beginning why it was that we made this request.
Can I ask you, when was the decision made? When did the seed of putting a field here start? I'm going to say it was at least last summer, because that gave you a park district I'm speaking to more than an opportune time to really review that and to look at some of the issues here and in good faith say, you know what, it may be something going on. I don't know if that took place on the park district board meeting.
It wasn't that early. I didn't make my request to the park district, and I want to see until November.
Yeah, but apparently the staff knew it was coming.
Well, I think anyone that read the minutes of the park district meeting.
No, this is before November. I thought last summer.
I don't know about that. I don't think so.
About this.
I don't think so.
It was never presented to us until maybe the second week of November before I went to the board packets.
With all due respect, can I just ask that two options be put up on the table, and if everybody is kind of in agreement, we either put T-ball in the most desirable part of the park where you want to be, which would require no bases put in, no structure, put in, or you go ahead and do your 60-foot or whatever that one big field is, and put it over there where the black fencing would be camouflaged by the trees. Can we ask that maybe those be the two options put on the table?
Well, it sounds like this is a done deal.
That's what. If it was, if it was done, if it was a done deal when the contractor called, I would have told my contractor to keep building the fields. I told him to stop. Dean told him to stop.
And we do appreciate that, because they could have proceeded. We would have had no power over it. So we thank you for that.
So
we do.
What is the
Well, that's what I think you're bringing up. And
the next step is to go back to the board with this.
And if it's going to be done, some kind of safety with the village and the police and the park district, we need to come up with some kind of safety plan for parking.
So you're saying regardless of the, let's say,
I don't care.
Yeah,
right
okay.
Now, personally, as a mother of three living on this block, the safety, because we get most of the traffic on this side, because this is where the bad stops are.
So I think I'm getting
I'm not trying to blame you guys over there, Kathy, that you don't get as much. I know you do, but we also get that cut through from Grange, which is out of control.
Let me make sure I get it.
It's out of control. They hit that, they see that light go here and there, and they crisscross.
So let me make sure I understand. So while let's say that the park the field that's being proposed for here, for this particular location, goes somewhere else, but it's still in this park. You're not saying that the incremental traffic that you face would be exactly the same, because the same people still need to get to the park. I think you're saying that if it were on the other side, so to speak, that cutting through this way and so forth wouldn't be as desirable, and it wouldn't be as much additional traffic on your side.
I'm not saying specifically sides. I'm saying that an additional 200 families, sometimes we get a break when there's nobody here. That's fine. But now if we're going to be almost every night and into Saturdays, it's going to be continuous, and someone is going to be killed.
Well, let's say that
I live here. I see it. And with the addition of those darn ice cream trucks, these kids run out. They run. It's a park.
Yeah, or even the kids running to their family car. They run to their car to get something, and they shoot between the two.
I understand.
It's mom and dad dropping off and not pulling over.
So what I'm
get out of the car right here. I'll go.
Yeah, run across. There's a good song on the radio.
And I'm saying that in all honesty.
I understand.
Or let me just pull into this person's driveway. You get out. You cross the street. And that's something we can control because that's parental involvement. But just the awareness of the safety and what these new traffic patterns are like, we would be added instruction.
We're all legitimate things.
So, I guess I'm trying to. So let's say that the proposal had not been to put the field here. It had been to put it with the backstop over by the trees and so forth. Are you saying, based on your experience and intuition, I guess, that it would still be bad, there'd still be that same additional traffic, or are you saying that might be a better way to do it?
It's bad enough as it is, but with the additional...
So you object, you feel that putting a field here, in addition, anything that would cause additional people to use the park is not worth it.
What we're telling you is there's an existing problem, and by adding another field, you're compounding that problem. And without addressing the existing problem and compounding it with no additional precautions being taken, it's a recipe for disaster. So we have twofold problem. We don't like the location of the bases being put there, and we have a safety issue that exists today, currently, that all you're going to do by increasing the number of games and increasing the number of families is compounding it. And if people would have checked with us back in November, not that you need our permission to do anything, but we live here. We experience it day in and day out. We could tell you more about this park than anybody on your staff. And if we'd been consulted, we could have told you there's an existing problem already. So while you're working out all of the details on how to do this, you also need to take the safety concerns into account and come up with a solution for that too. And you would have had ample time to do it.
You were saying that you were taking this to the next board meeting.
Oh yeah,
There's not
this whole meeting, I took notes, I can report the whole board about it.
I mean, they got to start the season.
The season starts a week from Monday.
And your next meeting is the 19th,
So what
are they going to do for their game?
I know what you're going to do. I can't authorize it to go ahead until the books report is heard everybody's concerns.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's your reaction to the field over here?
To the field by the bushes?
In the middle, yeah.
In good conscience, I can't put Little League over there to play all their games, knowing all the little kids that run away from their families and go play with their friends and could go running towards 47th Street. I would withdraw the request. I wouldn't put it over there. Which makes my league Achilles heel larger with Gordon Park because we end up relying upon it more and we lose 5 days at a time. Last year, the real impetus for this, as I told you, was Gordon Park being so wet. Of the girls' softball games, 18 of the first 24 games were rainouts. That's what motivated my wanting to generate them over. While games could be played at spring, for 5 days they would not be played. Even though the park district would turn the fields and drain them with hoses and put more boulder down, those fields soak it up.
This is a retention area.
You know, if we all got on a bus right now and looked at this, whether this is playable, and went over to Gordon and put our bathing suits on, you will drive over there later today. You will see ripples of current on the field.
So you're worried about kids running toward 47th? Is that your main concern about the field opposite that field?
Having families in close proximity. They could run behind the bushes, you know, their parents are watching the game.
Whoever is going to be in this location.
I'm not sure that's realistic.
Okay, but if 2 nights during the week, which is what we're proposing, Mondays and Wednesdays, Little League is on this north field for about 2 hours.
And we're gone.
And we're gone. We're not telling the families that when we're playing there for those 2 hours, we want your kids to go play by those bushes. But if you put my home plate by those bushes, that's where those kids are going to be. So there's a big difference. The kids can go play in the play area. You know, we're not telling them where to go, but if you put me there, I'm just telling you, you asked me what I would do, I would not put my league over there.
I would not put my child there.
Right, I'm not telling you to. You're telling me to put mine there, and I won't do it.
I don't think you should
So go to Gordon Park.
either of these ideas outright today. Maybe you'd like to discuss it with some other people. But Kathy's options were the two that we prefer. And we just respectfully like them discussed.